Tomorrow, Tuesday, October 21st, me and my wife's testimony will be live nationwide on the CBN network. Rules, and that pleases God. When you're born and raised with an innocent young mind and you're taught that this is the only way, being Amish. So I believe that was true, that the Amish was the only way. So when I see abuse like that, physical abuse and even mental abuse, well, you start wondering, if we are the special chosen people of God, why does God allow stuff like this to happen?
His father's drinking often turned violent. As a young boy, Eli, his mom, and his siblings endured beatings that left more than bruises. He carried the pain deep into his soul.
I always desired to have a relationship with my dad, but the fear was so great I avoided him. Going through everything that I was going through, fearing my dad and seeing the abuse, I always wondered, is God real? I started questioning everything I was ever taught.
At 18, Eli made the hardest decision of his life. With only an 8th grade education, he left the Amish, his family, and the only world he had ever known.
I didn't know what it was going to look like when I left the Amish. Found my identity in the ones that went to clubs and went to bars and drank alcohol and smoked and all of those kind of things. So I just started drinking, and then, it become a habit, and before I knew it was out of control.
The freedom he sought brought more pain, and now addiction. A few years later, he met Nikki, and they married shortly after. They would also have a son, Jonathan, but addiction still ruled Eli's life. Alcohol and emotional abuse, plus now pornography. For Nikki, life was a constant day-to-day struggle.
I personally didn't know how I was going to make it. Just being a first-time mom and a wife, and didn't know how I was going to deal with a husband that was an alcoholic.
Years later, Eli's father would reach out to him, and they agreed that he would also leave the Amish, and they would start afresh. Then, Eli's hopes to reconnect with his father ended with a phone call.
I got a phone call from my twin brother that he had ended his life by suicide. And so at that moment, I felt like everything that I had always wanted and desired was ripped away from me. I couldn't cope through life. It was too painful. My relationship with Nikki was getting pretty rocky just because she realized that I'm off the rails. She did the best she could, obviously, to help me through all the pain of losing my father.
I wanted to leave him, but I couldn't. I pray to God every day, and he was my strength.
For 17 years, Nikki endured, praying for a miracle. Then, in July 2016, God showed that he was not yet finished.